I'm your host, Andres, and I got okay.
Lover. I was supposed to do this last week, but I be all over the place. So I was like,
So that's what we wanted it to be.
Following up on social medias right now because
it wasn't producing a lot at the time. So just hearing about
Google and YouTube University is idealistically the best way to learn.
They ain't ready to hear me on that microphone to sit me on this stage, and when I feel like the whole city can hear me. Oh man, that would go crazy.
All right, y'all. It's another episode being brought to y'all via Zoom. This is Andres, your host of Baked Out Radio Show, and I have Toy Blackmon online with us. We're going to get into her journey. She's a fellow podcaster, creator, and does a lot more other things, and we're going to let her do that for y'all. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Toy, thank you for, taking a day, time out your day, because, like, you didn't have to do this.
Yeah, thank you. You'll make me time. Thank you. You're welcome. I know I was kind of like all over the place with you last week. We were supposed to do this last week, but I'll be all over the place. So I was like, you know what? I have to stay professional and keep him on point, like letting him know what's going on. So that's how we
here. I get it. I've been doing this since 2016. So next year will be 10 years of podcasting, right?
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And a lot of things have changed over the course of time, as we build things, right? Especially when we take an idea of something and then we invest into that idea and we keep, it going, it evolves, and it just turns into a lot of stuff. And you get to see how the industry reacts to it, how people react to it, people dropping in, dropping off, people trying to, I guess, become competition, not really being competition. And then those people dropping off and stuff like that. So I wanted to, get your perspective as a fellow podcaster. How is podcasting landscape, for you versus when you started? And then all the other, I would say, ancillary services and benefits that it offers and that you can offer people to be able to, help them with the visions that they're creating as well. So, let everybody know, a little bit about yourself. From Florida, now residing in, North Carolina. Was that North Carolina? What did Peter probably say? North Carolina?
North Carolina.
But yeah, go ahead and get into, let the folks know.
Okay. Hey, I am Toy Blackmon. I do a whole lot of things. I'm an author of The Secret She Kept, The Lies She Told. That book is out on my website. I have merch out. My brand is Are You Successful? And I get into the meaning behind that because he might have questions for that. I'm a filmmaker. I write the scripts. I do the casting call, the executive producer, the director. I do it all. I do it all. I do DIY credit repair. Well, I don't do it, but I have a group to where people can do it themselves because I have paid so many people to fix my credit, and it's like I paid money for nothing. Nothing never happened. I don't see any results. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take the time and do it myself. So it's a lot of things that I have going on. I'm originally from Belgrade, Florida, but now I live in Liberty, North Carolina.
So Belgrade, Florida?
Belgrade, Florida.
Glade, Florida. Where is that in relations to Florida? Is it south, central, or northern?
It's 20 minutes out of West Palm Beach, Florida.
I've learned where West Palm Beach, Florida is. And I was down there in August. A few months back or whatever. So I got to learn about the West Palm Beach area and stuff like that. I like the state of Florida. I just wouldn't, me personally, I don't see myself living there just because of the threat of hurricanes. So, and I get it, A lot of people live there, whatever. I think when you live in a place and you're acclimated to it or you grow up in a place, then, you're used to the things and the information that's disseminated. Outside of not living there, It's like I'm originally from Tennessee, tornadoes and stuff like that, but I couldn't live out west. I mean, out Midwest like Texas and Oklahoma because of flatlands. Because I'm like, you hear the horror stories and stuff, but
Yeah.
nobody really gives you like, you know what I'm saying, the real truth to how it is living in the place, whatever. But I do
Man.
like the state as far as like, what it has to offer.
Yeah.
So we'll always go and, spend time and stuff like that. So tell us, you do all of these creative things. What got you into being, you know what I'm saying, so creative? And what was the first thing that you started with?
Oh, that's a good question. The crazy part about it, like, I really feel like I wasn't put on earth to work for anybody.
Okay,
Now,
I love that.
every time I had a job, the only job that I really was happy in was when I was in the healthcare. I was a CNA.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was doing that, that is the only job that I enjoyed going to work. I enjoyed helping people.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came to my businesses, the first thing I ever had was a online boutique.
Okay.
And it was prospering. It did really good until I met the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
And when I met them and got them involved in my business, they end
Mm-hmm.
up, when the relationship didn't work out, they end up
Basically taking
like
your business or sabotaging it.
they not even sabotaged it. They kind of like what you call hacked all my social media's account, and I had
Mm-hmm.
people from other states that used to literally buy from me wholesale for they boutiques and day
Mm-hmm.
stores, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And he literally hacked my accounts and was reaching out to them people and scammed them.
It's Baked Out Radio Show, and I have some deals for y'all. There are some companies that I've been going, researching, looking at the different products and services that I want to turn y'all on to. So go to my deals page, check them out. Any one of them that you want to interact with, want to do some business with, you'll get a promo discount as well when you try their product. Banked Out, BANKEDOUTT. Slide over to that page, check out what I have to offer, and let me know.
So one of my customers, she was about to sue me. I had
Mm-hmm.
to go to the courts. The courts told me they can't do anything about it and all this stuff. So yeah,
I'm like that was sabotage though. He sabotaged the
yeah,
success of your business based off of the personal relationship that you had, which is shitty, by the way. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It sucked that you had to go through something like that because I know what it is to build a business. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2013, an
mhm,
entrepreneur since 2005. So you're talking about 20 years worth of experience of doing different things that know how to make money because you said it's successful. You know how to make money.
yep,
There's a lot of people out there who don't know how to make money when it comes to being a business owner.
hmm,
I'm sure you see it all the
yeah,
time, and you see all the stuff that they do wrong, and then you try to give them like some little nuggets and stuff like that. You got I think they all fall in different categories as far as like this. You'll have the entrepreneurs that you talk to, right?
hmm,
They're part time, they're wanting to be the entrepreneur that you are. So some of them they'll listen to your information, they'll run with it. The other ones will listen to your information, but like be salty about it and thinking that, you know what I'm saying, you're downing them when you're just trying to get them to lessen the learning curve, or what we like to say in business, the J curve is
hmm,
when you invest into a business and it's going down, down, down until it hits the pinnacle of the curvature ship and it shoots straight up because now you have all the information, you have all the experience, you have the resources you dumped into it, and you're able to tweak each day until you hit to where it starts the synergy process. And they want that, but they don't know how to receive that information.
hmm.
Am I hitting the nail on the head?
Yeah, and it's like too, you could tell them get them gems all day, and they still won't use it. They still because they so
Uh-huh.
accustomed to what they do, so they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
continue because they feel like that's what's working for them. When you just trying to help elevate them.
Exactly. But the thing I tell people all the time, if it was working for you, then you wouldn't need nobody help.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I'm like, we don't know everything, but as we become successful and hit tiers of success, because success is in a lot of different tiers,
Mm-hmm.
then if someone is ahead of you, you should want to listen to them.
Right.
But hey, that's my little soapbox for that or whatever. Because I could talk about business and wow, what I'm saying, all day with that. But so you do the boutique. There's a creative space. What was the next phase into your life after the boutique then?
After that, when that happened, I kind of gave up on it, and I did my own cosmetic line. So I used to have lip gloss and lipsticks and shirts. So the shirts used to I can't remember what the shirts used to say, but I just seen a thing of it the other day. I was like, oh, these shirts was cute. And it'll have a lip on the shirt also with the words and
Mm-hmm.
whatever color lipstick, because that's when you remember well, I know you, Keisha Kior. Remember when she
Mm-hmm.
had the colorful lipsticks? I was out around the same time.
Yeah.
So I also had the colorful lipstick. So whatever lips that was on the shirt that matched the lipstick. So they're either get the lipstick and the shirt for
Mm-hmm.
$30, or they could just get the lipstick or just get the shirt. So that was my next one. That was really good for me too.
Mm-hmm.
I was a dancer at the time, so
Mm-hmm.
majority of my customers was dancers.
Mm-hmm.
Makeup artists, I used to give them every color lipstick so they can have it in their thing to use it. So I got promo from the makeup artists. I
Mm-hmm.
had a shop that I used to go to. It was a hair shop, and I used to go there on the weekends. I used to live in West Palm, so I used to go to Fort Lauderdale and
Mm-hmm.
sell my lipsticks on the weekends inside of the hair salon. So that's how I used to. Man, it's so crazy. Like I
Mm-hmm.
remember me and my boys, because I got three boys. Like
Mm-hmm.
literally used to walk around the neighborhood and pass
Mm-hmm.
out my flyers or put them
Mm-hmm.
on a mailbox.
Yes.
Yeah. The
Yeah. That's our old school marketing. I love it.
yes.
Old school promo. Like that in itself gave you real time data when you interacted with people that people are missing nowadays
Yeah.
to reshape the. I think they should go back to doing stuff like that. So you
Yeah.
mentioned dancing and stuff like that. And I imagine you was doing it because what I'm saying, it's a necessity. What I'm saying, to keep the livelihood going and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
That was
how
the
did that like as far as like you doing that because now you're being branded at that particular time. What I'm saying, as a dancer and stuff, and you're putting yourself out there. Was there any like negative connotation or feedback that came that way, or you just took it in stride?
No, it was not, to be honest, because I was the type of person I always brand myself. So if you see anything that's connected to me, you see the
Mm-hmm.
name of it is successful. It have
Mm-hmm.
the name successful in it because that was my dance name. I used
Mm-hmm.
to be successful the model when I was modeling.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened with that situation, I ended up getting noticed by a company out in New York, and I flew to New York and got signed, but I gave them things that I wouldn't do because I had kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the same things I told them I wouldn't do, the first thing they had me to do was something I said I wouldn't do. I know by me being a dancer and all that, a dancer would have loved that. But me not knowing what kind of magazine it was, and
Mm-hmm.
they lied to me and say, oh, it was just a magazine up here in New York that they put out in the stores and things like that for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when I was there, I seen like majority of the girls that was there was dancers.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got back home, a customer in the strip club seen me, he congratulated me, and he was like, but do you know what type of magazine you just like got
Yes.
published in? So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, it's the magazine that they sell up in New York in the stores or whatever. He was like, no, that magazine is the number one magazine in prisons.
Oh
He said,
wow.
somebody's going to be jacking off you. Oh my God. I called my manager and I went off and I was
Uh-huh.
like, tear up my contract, which I already know they wasn't going to tear it up. So I just stepped back from modeling because I
Mm-hmm.
signed a contract for 3 years. So I stopped doing it. And I was like, I just stopped until my contract is over. Well, once my contract was over, I just never got back into it.
No, I'm glad that what I'm saying, you learned the lesson.
Yeah.
Um, now
Not to jump on the first thing in the
uh-huh.
industry that someone
Yeah,
offers you.
because you see how the industry with creative spaces, entertainment, it's always predicated. Now, I hate the fact that the industry has been doing that for decades now. But there's also predatory things in other industries as well. It's just not as, I guess, bad because creative spaces do not have as much regulations as other industries do. So you're bouncing back from that. What was your next move to be able to, like, shift and keep it going? Because like you said, you don't, know what I'm saying, work for nobody else. You work for yourself. So what was your next, what I'm saying, venture?
Being a dancer, I was a dancer for a long time on and off, but I also still had a 9 to 5. That's when I was in the health field. So I go to the strip clubs on my days off. Like, say for instance, I work today, but I have tomorrow off. So tonight I'm gonna go work at the club. So that's kind of too with the healthcare money and me being a dancer with the extra money. That's how I was staying afloat, and I was investing in my businesses, investing in me. So that's how that worked for me. And I'm so glad, like, I was a dancer that literally had respect for myself, that the guys really respected me too. I really didn't get a lot of disrespect. Guys used to literally talk to me like, oh, you don't even seem like you should be doing this. Why are you doing it? And I'd be like, it's not a reason. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, because I'm trying to pay for school and I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do, like, the money was good. I love fast money. That's when I noticed I'm supposed to be working for nobody. I love me some fast money. And they was telling me, like, don't never get your body done, because if you get your body done, that means you look at dancing as a career. So I got my butt done and my breast done, but I didn't do it to make more money. I did it for me because that was my insecurity within myself. You know what I'm saying? So I got it to make me feel good, not to make more money in a club or look good for a man. Like, and it's so crazy. You would not believe this. I'm the type of girl, like, I really don't even like showing off my body, to be honest.
So like you said, it's just something that, you wake up every day, you look in the mirror, you like, I want these changes and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
like you said, it's for you. So what's the next thing that you started, like, creatively? Is that when you, like, started the podcasting, or was it something prior to that?
No, it was so crazy. I used to get opportunities back in the days to where I think it was the year, I want to say 2014 is when everything started popping out for me. I got an opportunity to have my own talk show on this on WOD TV station. So I did that. I never know what happened to that, like why we stopped doing it, because it was a good thing. Don't know what happened with that. And then I was on a radio station, the Great 8 FM. It was an underground station. Me and I had a partner at the time. We used to do we only used to focus on indie artists. So we used to interview them, only play indie artist music, and then we had a show that we used to do for them, an open mic thing that we used to do for them. So after the show, we'll go to the club and do our open mics with the artist that shows up and things like that. So literally, I ain't gonna say podcasting, because back then they wasn't calling podcasting, but I had talk shows and radio shows from back then. Then I stopped because I realized I was the only one that was putting in money when it came to all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm putting in my money, but when it comes for payout, I have a partner that was reaping the benefits.
Yeah.
So,
That's a horrible setup.
Yeah. So I stopped that, fell back from that. Oh, I was a failed back. Can I cuss on here?
You can, whatever you feel like you want to
I
say.
was a failed back motherfucker. Once I noticed that this ain't making no sense to me, I stepped away from it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if I would have kept going in the space that I was, because everything I used to do back then used to pop, I really feel like I would be bigger than what I am now. But by me was a fallbacker, I stop something, go to the next thing. Stop something, go to the next thing.
So then I have this question then, because I've done situations like that before too, right? Invest my money and brought other people. And I'll tell you, like, what I'm saying, a synopsis of even with this particular platform, what I've done in the past in a little bit. So as, what I'm saying, you're doing business. I know how it is being a single funding business and the creative, you're wanting the idea of what you see in the vision to be executed to its fullest potential. So you're allowing people to come into spaces where they're going to reap benefits, right? Like you said. And did you just approach that with like, okay, I'm just going to trust that this person is going to be as committed as me, knowing that, as soon as you put up bread, they don't put up bread. That's the first flag right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How are you navigating that? And, because I can only imagine you would feel torn at sometimes making decisions.
Yes, because it was like now I'm to the point where I have to understand your vision is not everybody else's vision.
Mm-hmm.
So they could say, yeah, I get it. I do the same thing, da 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 da. And with the radio station, now when it came to promoting, because I don't know if you follow me on any social media, like I promote my ass off. And he was a big promoter like that too. Like he promoted his ass off on social media. But when it just came to funding part, I tried to be understanding that he had little babies and a wife and all that. I try to be understanding.
You got 4 boys. You got 3 boys.
Exactly.
You're in the same position.
Exactly. But I still was trying to be understanding, So it just comes to a point where you get tired. You can have that talk all you want. Like, okay, bruh, like I'm putting in this and then you ain't putting in nothing. And it's like, okay, now I'm tired. So when you get tired and fed up, you step away. But I had tried the come back with the podcast and had a collaboration with someone, and it was just like I just felt like I was bigger than what they wanted to do. They wanted to just focus on the LGBT community, and I'm bigger than the LGBT community. I haven't been gay all my life. I don't been with men's. I don't care about speaking on it. But them, they have this image to where, and they got kids too, but they have this image in the gay world to where they don't talk about men, or they still sneak around with men, but people don't know it. You feel me? So it was like I'm telling my business because, like I told you, I'm an open book. I talk about anything, but I'm telling my business on the show. But yet you're sitting back, not. So it was just like, yeah, that's not for me either. So. That's when I started Successful Toy Podcast by myself. So I can run it how I want to run it. I don't have to run it by nobody or none of that. And that I was very successful. I always had.
So talk about that then. Talk about, talk your talk. Tell us how successful was, a Successful Toy Podcast. If I imagine, what I'm saying, it's a solo type episodes and stuff, right? And you just probably bring on and interview guests and things of that nature. So tell us, let us know.
So with Successful Toy Podcast, I built different shows to do on my podcast. Even if I don't have a guest, I could still be on there talking by myself. So I had 21 questions. That was the first show I ever did, and it was all by myself. And then I ain't gonna lie, at first I used to be like, I don't want to do no guests. I just want my show and I can pop my shit, and if they like it, they like it. They don't. So from there, people started reaching out. First it was my friends. They was like, oh, I want to be on your podcast. I was like, this is not a podcast. And I was like, damn, I should have named it This Is Not a Podcast, because I keep telling people this is not a podcast. Like, you could come on and talk shit with me, but this is not a podcast. So I ended up turning it into a podcast because I had doctors, entrepreneurs, actors, singers, artists like reaching out. And I'm like, and then I also had people referring them. So it was like, girl, you better turn this motherfucker into a podcast. So that's when I turned into a podcast. But still, I was like, I still want my show to be authentic. I don't want to be someone I'm not, So it's like, listen, if you come on my show, I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about religion. And I do cuss. I cuss my ass off. And they like, oh, I love that. And it's crazy because I had some amazing guests on my show. I can't remember her name, but she was on Housewives. What's the one start with a P? Jesus, I can't
I,
remember.
I, maybe I don't know. I was about to say Philadelphia. So I'm not familiar with all the Housewives.
Okay.
P or whatever. The only one I remember is Housewives of Atlanta, and I didn't really get
Yeah, it was
into
like,
them.
yeah, it
But
was
I
like,
get what you're saying though.
yeah, it was one of the housewives but with the Caucasian women on there. I
Mm-hmm.
had one of them on there. I had what is his name? Oh my Jesus! Why I can't think of these? Like I'm having a brain fart.
It's
But
okay.
he was from Family Business.
Mm-hmm.
He came on my show. Miss Toy was on my show, the one who's saying you can do it, put your back into it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did a collab with her, and I'm not even a rapper, but she put me
Mm-hmm.
on one of her songs as a feature, and I had a rapping part. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it just turned into a big thing, and my number one downloads used to be in Sydney, and it was like, oh shit, I'm international. So it was like,
Australia.
yeah, so I was
That's what's
like,
up.
listen, I told my girl, I was like, I need to go over there because I need to meet these people because they are my number one downloaders. So with that, it was amazing. And
So how
then
did it? Okay.
go ahead.
You had this success and stuff. So why did it start to taper off for you? And then why did you reformat?
Because I was slacking. I got lazy.
Ah, I get that. Yeah, I
I
understand
got
that.
I got lazy. And then it was like the episode I had was like I was telling you, I had three different, not three, but like 4 or 5 different categories on my show. I had the 21 question, interviewing people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this one I used to call conversation, where we only talk about mental health. I have mental health questions for the guests that come on.
Mm-hmm.
I had 21 question with a twist, where I made up a game focusing on my podcast that was fun and to get to know people better. And I had Kiss or Kill. That was the
Mm-hmm.
game. So I had these different things. Oh, and I had the panel.
Mm-hmm.
But the panel did better than everything else. So I'm the type of girl, when God speaks to me,
Mm-hmm.
I move. I don't be
Yeah.
disobedient. So by me was getting lazy with Successful Toy Podcast, he put in my heart like, okay, just do it. Because I was doing it. I was doing 2 shows a day, Monday through Friday.
Oh wow, you doing 10 shows a week?
Yes.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I feel like that's why I was getting overwhelmed. And God was telling me, he was like, listen,
Mm-hmm.
do the panel where you have 6 people on there, you including, that's the 6,
Mm-hmm.
and you do it once a week.
Yeah.
And it works for me.
Yes.
And it opened up a lot of space for me to focus on other things instead of me trying to focus. Because I used to do 1 p.m. and 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Oof. You didn't have ma'am. You didn't
Right.
have nobody like in your corner tell, hey, no, first of all, from a programming standpoint, that's a lie. Like you ain't got news anchors who could do that.
Nobody told me shit. Okay? Nobody told me shit. Not even my mate. She was down with my bullshit.
Well, a lot of people don't have the experience and everything, but you was doing a lot. So I commend you, to be able to do that and to be able to keep it and get it to that level, whatever. But I'm glad that you was able to listen to intuition and, listen to God and be able to, step back, because now you're doing more with less.
Yes.
And I had to learn stuff like that too. I started off doing 3 shows a week, interviewing artists and stuff and talking about various topics. And then it was just so much because you got to keep coming and you're building your audience. And that's the thing, like I wanted to talk to, a fellow creative podcaster about, like, how do you look at the landscape now and versus like, all the people, because the entry barrier I think it's way more accessible now. We have all these different tools that we can use as far as distribution. But at the end of the day, I don't think that people, they're like, oh, well, I want to do a podcast because they see it as
Money.
You said what?
Money.
With
People
that?
really,
Uh-huh.
like the people that's coming in the podcast world now, they really doing it for money. Because you even got the celebrities. Like, I don't heard some say, I got into podcasts because I used to be seeing all the money that these people making, so why not? But it's like, you already got money.
Yeah.
You already got money. So now I just feel like the podcast world is just oversaturated.
I don't feel like it's oversaturated. I just feel like, people are, like you said, the allure of money, and then the ease, that there's no barrier entry. So it's easy to get. But what they're missing is that you still have to build an audience and build value. And
Yeah.
that's where all the opportunities come in at, by building value. Because when I was building mine, I started with audio first, and then I transitioned into video. Then I got lazy, like, what I'm saying, because video was easier, and I stopped with the audio. So I lost like a huge audience that I'm building back now, because I had people where I had it to where, like, I did Blog Talk, was one of the first distribution platforms where people can call in with a number and stuff like that,
Mhm.
and playing the music and doing the interviews in between. It was set up like, that's why it's called Bake That Radio Show. It was set up like a radio show. I
Right.
just, kept the name. But then once video came aboard, and then, I was doing Facebook Lives and stuff like that with Industry Thursdays, and did that for like a year and a half, and was doing like phenomenal numbers, people recognizing I'm doing, selling my own ads, all sorts of stuff.
Hmm.
You get lazy, or, you start to want to do other things, and, you don't stick to. But what I've been seeing over the last few years, like you said, celebrities are jumping into it. I think some of them jumping into it too because they don't even have a business model for their celebrity talent.
Yeah.
They have to, depend on talent to get hired.
Hmm.
So now, if they have a brand that's already been they have a brand recognition because they've been poured into with millions of marketing dollars through various projects, they can capitalize off of that. But
Right.
I still think that they forget that podcasting and building the platforms is about the audience, and that should always be the focus.
Hmm.
Some of them just jump out there with crazy concepts or whatever, thinking that, they're gonna go and get the bag from like Spotify and stuff, and it doesn't work like that or
Right.
whatever. You have to build and cultivate an audience, because at the end of the day, the people who want to tune into it because it has value to them. It's changing their life and being meaningful in some type of way.
Right.
So I don't feel like it's oversaturated because the numbers don't even show it. I'm like, you got 5 million podcasts on Apple alone, with only 500,000 are actually active. And
Right.
that's across every genre. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It'd be different if you got 5 million podcasts on Apple and 3 million of them are active. You
Right.
got some people that their stuff is just, they ain't put out an episode in years, so it's not active anymore. So they no longer have an audience. And I
Hmm.
learned that when I stopped releasing my audio episodes and I was just doing video, I
Hmm.
lost my audio audience, and I'm building it back.
Just gonna piggyback off of that too when you said that, because when I first started, I was video.
Hmm.
I was video, had a big audience. I'm talking about when I used to, because the platform that I stream from, I can go live on YouTube, Instagram, and all that at the same
Hmm.
time. And Facebook. And on Facebook, my live, it used to get hundreds of views, but when I go look at my insights,
Hmm.
I'd be having like 102K views and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
then when I switch from video to audio and went to
Hmm.
Podbean, trying to run it like a radio station,
Hmm.
I lost.
Yeah.
Now that I'm back videoing and trying to build back up that momentum over there on my Facebook, it's like it's slow.
Hmm.
It's slow. So
Yeah, it is. And knowing, had I known what I know now, I would have been able to, like, go back in time and tell myself this is the strategy that you got to use or whatever to rebuild. But the fact that you was able to build something, the fact that I was able to build something to the numbers that we did is amazing in itself.
yeah,
So now we know how to build. At least we have the experience of knowing how to build.
right.
Unlike, I'm saying, the new people who are jumping into it, they have no earthly idea what they're doing whatsoever.
Mhm.
And then, like you said, there's situations where people create stuff. Because I saw this other person I want to talk to. She spent 10 grand on video podcasts, but when I go to her YouTube page, it's 4 years old, and
Mm,
on her first season, and she had posted it on Threads. And I thought it was fascinating because people were talking about, "Oh my God, you're spending $10,000." I'm like, y'all don't understand everything you have to do. All this stuff isn't for free. You can't expect people to execute your vision for free, especially if you don't have the skill set. And even if you have the skill set to do everything, it's going to take way longer. So
yeah,
why waste time when you can outsource some of the jobs? Not all, but some.
yeah.
Um, but you can tell when it's a situation like you had where if she's financing everything, and she got co-hosts and stuff like that, but they're benefiting from the brand recognition. They're benefiting when people book them for opportunities. They're not putting money back into her pocket.
Right.
They're keeping that money for themselves. But you have a great concept that can do numbers. It has the potential to do millions, but it will never get there because of the way that, you know what I'm saying, everybody, like you said, everyone is not into your vision. Everyone doesn't, you know what I'm saying, see it. They say they do, but I tell people all the time, you ain't got no skin in the game. You ain't, you know what I'm saying, you ain't finna do nothing for me. You ain't finna do nothing with
Exactly.
me. You gotta have
Exactly.
skin in the game. You gotta have some type of skin in the game to
Mhm.
where if you don't put up, it's going to hurt you like it will hurt me.
Yeah.
So I guess all that combination and experience and stuff like that, is that what led you to, you know, start writing this stuff and then start working on, you know what I'm saying, being an author?
No, it was crazy because I wasn't even thinking about being an author. My best friend was like, I was going through something, and she was like, "Successful girl, you need to write a book." So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Girl, I hate writing," because I used in school, I hate writing essays. So she was like, I was like, "Girl, I hate writing." She was like, I said, and I wouldn't even know where to start. Like, when you're writing a book, I'm thinking, like, when you're writing a book, I'm like thinking on a big scale. I'm not thinking like independent. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, "Girl, just either get your laptop or get you a folder, notebook folder, and just start writing. Just start writing." She was like, "You have been through some shit, girl. So
Mm-hmm.
just start writing about your life." So I took her advice, and I literally, like, I wrote down everything that I can remember from the age 5 years old, because I was 40 at the time. So I wrote
Mm-hmm.
from the age 5 years old up until I was 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I was just writing, telling my side of the stories, because I don't have friends that I end up like backstabbing them with sleeping with their boyfriend or something. But when they told their story, I'm the type of person, like, whoever tell their story first, that's who they gonna believe. So it don't
Mm-hmm.
make no sense for me to even try to come out and tell my story on why I did it. So
Yeah.
when I finally wrote my book, I literally put all that in my book. I finally told my side of the story and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So now when people read it, they be like, "I can tell this was a venting session for you." And I was like, "Yeah, I just
Mm-hmm.
put everything that I was holding in, and I put it out there in the book."
How did that book do for you as far as, like, you know, did you have any expectations or
No, because I ain't gonna lie, like, in Florida, in West Palm Beach, like, motherfuckers don't like me, okay?
I love it. I
They
love it.
don't like me
Hey,
because the bitches that I used to be friends with, like,
uh-huh.
they kind of like had a name. So it's like they only know me because I was hanging with them. So whatever, like I said, whatever story they told, like, that's who they gravitated to or whatever. So bitches don't
Mm-hmm.
like me. Or I used to fuck they men, because I ain't gonna lie. I used to be a hoe. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't innocent. So bitch, I didn't give a fuck about none of them bitches. But
Mm-hmm.
um when I wrote it, I was like, I don't even know how to put this out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I sold the unedited version of it. I sold over 100 copies of me just
Mm-hmm.
on social media stating I finished my book, and I'm selling it for $2.99, but it's just the PDF, it's just the manuscript, unedited, raw.
Mm-hmm.
So when I put that out there, like, people was buying it like crazy, and I was selling it for $2.99, and I
Mm-hmm.
sold over 100 copies with
Mm-hmm.
just that alone.
Yeah.
So then I seen Miami Tip when she published her first book. I inboxed her. I
Mm-hmm.
said, "Hey, how did you get your book on Amazon?" And
Mm-hmm.
she was the one that told me what to do. So I found somebody that edited for me to make it,
Mm-hmm. More polished. Yeah.
yeah. And once they did that, I uploaded it to Amazon, and I had it on Amazon. I just took it off Amazon this year because
Mm-hmm.
I was collaborating with someone that was gonna rewrite it, because
Mm-hmm.
like I said, they was like, this sound like just a venting session. So they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna rewrite it for me to make it more polished, and then I'm gonna relaunch it. But for now, yes, I still have a couple. I have a couple of copies on hand. So this is how it looked. It's
Okay.
called Secret She Kept and the Lies She Told. So
That's what's up.
yeah.
I like the fact that you've been doing all these different projects though. Like, I don't know if you've looked at like the statistics. I've interviewed authors, I've interviewed book dealers or brokers, agencies, publishing agencies, and they tell me that only 1% of authors who actually write actually publish. The 99 other percent do not even, they're right, but they won't ever publish. So one, you was able to get that hurdle, right?
Yeah.
The other hurdle is that in an author's lifetime, I got the interview. I have to go back and find it so I can send it to you, or I'll even clip it into this somehow. He told me book statistics when it comes to the publishing side of it. Only, what is it? Oh, most authors, like majority, 90 something percent, is a high number, high staggering number, do not sell more than 100 copies of their book in their lifetime.
Oh, wow.
So you did something, you're in the top echelon of selling.
Yeah, because that and the 100 plus was me just selling the manuscript to the random people, and they reading my script where I'm talking about where all the incorrect spelling and everything. And then when I put it on Amazon, I really can't keep up what I was getting some dividend checks, some royalties from it. So yeah.
So you've been able to accomplish a lot of stuff, ma'am. So if no one's ever told you how successful you've been compared to the statistics out there, you've done a lot, and congratulations on being able to just to execute and to do stuff like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you've been doing all this stuff, right? And now you got the panel with the podcast. How's that been going? Do you think that will be in the plans for like, a longer run? And then also, what do you plan on doing going forward?
Okay. So I really feel like the Outscript show, because I'm really with genuine people, and that's who God told me to choose to do it with. And they are people that's either on my production team or they actors in my movies. So we all had a bond, and all us don't bite our tongue. We say what's real. We don't beat around the bush to each other. So that's why I felt like this would be perfect. So that's why we named it the Off Script Show, because baby, we be all over the place. We don't have topics. Everybody come on there with their own questions, or they see a story that they want to talk about. Like, we don't have a topic that we be talking about. So I feel like that is going to grow. It's going to do really good. Now my focus is, I rebrand my hair growth oil. So that is out right now. It's doing good. I'm looking for ambassadors and all that stuff. I have a distribution already, one. She does dreads, so she's going to be selling my hair growth oil in her shop. So once I come down to Florida, I will be dropping off the hair growth oils down there. What else? Oh, my films. So the story about my life, The Secret She Kept, Lies Told, I filmed the movie for it, but I didn't release it. I had to scrap it because the acting in it was
not what you wanted.
Yeah. So I'm going to reshoot it next year, July. So right now, the next film that I'm shooting is called Granny's Block. It's an urban comedy where four grannies is going to be taking over the block. Instead of having the YNs or the OGs taking over the block, we're going to have the granny OGs taking over the block.
That should be very interesting.
And that would be filmed. We start filming that in January, and it will be filming in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
When you do that, because I'm not that far from Atlanta.
Okay. The dates are January the 22nd through the 25th.
Matter of fact, grant me access to get like, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Thank you. Yes, come on, bring your podcast stuff and
Uh-huh.
be talking to the
Exactly.
actors and everything.
Yes.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
yes.
I'm gonna shoot you my number so we stay in contact and everything.
Okay. Yes,
Because
I
I
would love.
definitely want to do like more content stuff like that. Some stuff like, you know, because as I know, as we get into podcasts and production and all that stuff, we start doing all these other ventures and things. And what had initially started off as a radio show for me has turned into almost a full-fledged production company now, to
Mhm.
where I just got through shooting a reality show and
Ooh.
it's dropping next month. It's a positive reality show. It's called Bouncing Around the A, and
Mhm.
it's about an inflatable business company, and it's family oriented. I'm
Mhm.
gonna shoot you the Instagram promo. She just released it today. I'm so happy because I had to sit on, you got Sonya and the A's and all that stuff, and I had to
Yeah.
sit on. I worked all this summer, all this footage, editing and stuff like that, coming up with different shots, and it was a one man camera operation, me.
Period.
But it is come together and it's been the biggest project I have taken on.
Mhm.
Stressful, but very rewarding.
I have a
And,
question.
uh-huh.
When you came up with the idea of a positive reality show, and I'm asking this because I'm gonna tell you what happened with me. So
Hmm.
when you came up with that concept,
Hmm.
did you get anyone that was downing and like, right now people like drama, so da da da
Hmm.
da da da.
I'll tell you
Did you?
this. I didn't come up with the actual the idea of the show. I helped her execute it. So it was she's an actual artist and she has her inflatable business.
Okay.
But I saw, I know what you're saying though, because the people who I did let know that I was working on something like that, I couldn't tell them exactly what it was, but that I
Right.
told them the concept of it. And yes, people will say, well, people want drama, drama, drama. And I'm like, yes, I understand that, but that's not the only, like, I'm a business person at the end of the day because my degree is in business with a concentration in marketing. So I look
Mm-hmm.
at data. I don't listen to what people say.
Right.
I look at data. Data will tell you all the time. And data tells you that there is a space for everyone to pull off everything. You
Mm-hmm.
just have to find your people.
Exactly.
And people don't always want to look at I don't like I had to learn how to shoot reality shows and stuff like that based off of watching them and talking with various people who's done it. But I don't absorb reality TV show because I don't want that in my system.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go watch positive stuff. Um, and there's nothing wrong with positive things. Like even when I built Bank That Radio Show, I made it a couple of things were intentional. I never wanted to do interviews and always harp on the negative of stuff or try to be like
That was me.
Wendy Williams or Charlamagne Tha God and anything like that. Because when you put yourself out there like that, you're branded as that. I want
That was.
people to come back and
Mm-hmm.
they absorb. And people, they sit there and watch these interviews that I have years later. Like I still get comments on stuff because everything is still posted on Facebook. Everything is still posted on Instagram and YouTube as my platforms of where I'm pushing the material.
Mm-hmm.
And it is amazing to see me doing a interview 5 years about someone who sells pies, people commenting on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I wanted to always build the platform. Now, will I
Yeah.
talk about some stuff? Yes, but it's not in the same light.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe in that whole negative stuff. I really don't. I just don't. I don't want to be known for that.
And it's crazy because when I built Successful Toy Podcast, that was my vision. I was like, I do not want to focus on nothing negative. I don't care who come on my platform,
Mhm.
what um beef they got or what's gonna bring in numbers. I don't care. I want to focus on what they got going on positive in their life. I don't care
Mhm.
about none of that stuff. And that's me. Like
Mhm.
with my the off script show,
Mhm.
I have somebody on there that he tried to bring up something that I had that I went through.
Mhm.
And I had to tell him, I said, this platform is not for that. We're not here to bash anybody. I don't left it alone. So I want you to leave it alone. I'm not highlighting or giving nobody that exposure of talking negative about them. I already handled it. I did what I did, and I
Mm-hmm.
leave it as that. So when it comes over here, if we're not talking about our own business, we're not going to talk about nobody else's business. Like, I just
Mm-hmm.
don't want to. And then I also had joined forces with this lady. She started a podcast to where we was talking about reality shows, doing like our reviews on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was draining to me because it's like, I used to be a Baddies fan,
Mm-hmm.
but now they fight so much on there to it's like it's draining. It was
Mm-hmm.
draining my energy. So I was like, yeah, I can't watch this too much long. And then it's like when I do come across it, if I ain't got nothing to do and I just watch it, like I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to have to wait a whole week to talk about it. Like the show come out on a Sunday, but then our next show into Friday. So now I got to, like, it was just too much. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm gonna watch something like that, I just want to watch it and forget about it. I don't want to elaborate about it. So
Yeah, exactly. See, now I feel you with that. Like, like I said, I don't mind talking about, like, I'm saying, some things, because I've even, like, I've gotten some situations where, I want to talk about things that happen with people and even with myself, but the light isn't spun to where, I'm saying, that's what it's all about. It's about showing, because it's like with any great storytelling, you know what I'm saying? There's always going to be ups and downs.
right.
But at the end of the day, you want to show the positivity and like the outcome of how they were able to overcome the endurement,
Mm-hmm.
overcome, the trap or whatever the case may be, overcome the beef. That's
Mm-hmm.
what you're, focus. That's what the in focus goal should be, not, oh, well, you beefing and blah, blah, blah. And it just gets out of hand. I'm like, come on,
Right.
nobody wants to consume all that. I think as you get older, you're supposed to mature and become wiser. But some people, it's the mentality. It's
Yeah.
not the age. Maturity is in the mentality, not age. That's how I believe, because you got people that's 60 years old, 50 years old who still go through life, and they're coming from a space of it's always negative and rah 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 rah, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to what are you building, what legacy are you going to leave behind, what I'm saying, how are you going to be known, because you're only on this earth for so long anyway,
Right.
so how are you going to be impactful to others?
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Is there
but
anything go ahead.
I had asked that question because I came up with a concept for a reality show and I wanted to focus on entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And the person told me, oh, you have to think nobody's going to watch anything that's positive. Because I was like, I want to focus on the positive side of the entrepreneurs, not bring them on a show and basically making them this great they self and then degrade they self. And
Mm-hmm.
then they don't people really don't even know what they do because those baddies literally be having some positive stuff going on in their life. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't follow them, you won't even know that you have a business or so it's
Mm-hmm.
like what? So I wanted to create something
I
for
did this. I tell you
entrepreneurs.
what I've done in my experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have interviewed hundreds of entrepreneurs. One, because I'm an entrepreneur myself. My
Mm-hmm.
platform has actually benefited from interviewing entrepreneurs and talking about their journey in entrepreneurship. People do watch that because entrepreneurship isn't cookie cutter.
Mm-hmm.
And what you learn from one piece from a person, you might learn something else from another. And I've
Mm-hmm.
interviewed and shown that we as people, just our community, we're not monolithic. We're diverse in all sorts of entrepreneurial ways as far as the industries.
Right.
And I'm always looking for, someone who's doing something that's different. Because, we have the barbershops and the music and the entertainment. We also have the tech and, the rocket ships and mathematic, companies that people are creating and, whatever else. We all have shared experiences to a certain degree. And then we have other interests and stuff like that. So people tune into the information. I'm like, if that was the case, it wouldn't be plastered everywhere. Every time my news feed pulls up, it's something new with entrepreneurs and businesses and things of that nature. And then also, I did a show called The Ugly Side of Entrepreneurship, where I talked about their pain points in more specific detail. But towards the end of the show, it's not just it's to show what entrepreneurs have to go through to, get to the point where they support themselves.
Right.
but also how did you come over that hump and that hurdle? And what are you doing now? You know what I'm saying? And that highlights, you know what I'm saying, at the end, what they're doing, how they was able to overcome it and, really become successful. So yeah, we
Right.
might talk about, you know what I'm saying, the journey, but along the way, the journey, you know what I'm saying, there's a turning point.
I
So
swear to
yes, you
God.
create whatever your heart tells you to create because it's there for a reason.
Right.
Don't listen to all the naysayers. I tell people all the time, one rule of thumb, when people bring ideas to me and they say, I think I want to do this, I do that. The first thing I tell them, do it. Because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
It's not proven in the market yet. Now once you put it out there, and if it hits the goals that you wanted to hit, cool. You were very lucky. Because far few in between does a person are able to achieve something that they initially set out to do on the first try.
Right.
It doesn't happen like that. Those are like 1 in gajillion chances. Everyone else, you apply things to it, the strategy and stuff. So you put stuff out there into the public, you see how their public responds. And if you want to continue that, you make adjustments.
Right.
But to tell people not to try at all, that is the definition of failure in my eyes. Failing is not trying. Failing is not doing at all because it's easy to fail.
Right.
Just like it's easy to quit. Some of the easiest things ever, quit and fail. You fail by not trying. But if you're out there chasing stuff, no, you're successful because you're pursuing something. And it doesn't have to hit all the markers that you want for it because you
Exactly.
have no experience. You see what I'm saying? In that particular thing that you're doing. So there shouldn't be people's perception of, oh, well, that's not going to be successful. What is success?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Success is waking up every day. You get to go to a podcast that you love to do. You get to write books. You get to film. You are successful right now.
Yeah.
How many people got to wake up and go to a job that they hate?
I swear.
You know how many people have degrees that they don't even work in that area of expertise where they studied? 90-something% people in general. So yeah, I don't listen to all that stuff. I put that, I squash that real quick. And if I have people around me that's saying stuff like that, I just get rid of them.
Yeah. When I tell you, the person that said that God made something happen to where them people ain't even around me anyway. So it was just like, nigga, why every time I bring something to you, you turning it down? And then it's like,
well, because
are you really trying to help me for real? You claiming you want to be on my team and help me and all that? Like, nah.
Exactly. They're not really for you. But ma'am, this has been a lovely conversation. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for
let
having
everybody know. Oh, you're welcome. Plug your stuff. Let everybody know, you know what I'm saying, how can they get in contact? Because you do so much stuff now. I've gotten to know you just in the sense of this hour, and you offer way more than I initially thought. So go ahead, plug yourself.
So you guys can follow me and get to know me a little better on Facebook at Toy Blackmon. Follow my show, the All Script Show, on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow my production company on Instagram, Successful Toy Production. Follow my hair growth oil at Valora Crown on Instagram. And you can shop with me to get your merch. Are you successful? And the meaning behind are you successful is, are you successful or are you successful? Meaning, are you just successful or are you full of success?
Love it.
The ones that's successful, like you're doing anything for success. So you're chasing that success to get successful. So me, I am full of success, as y'all can see from this interview. So you can get your merch at www.successfultoyproduction.com. All my business is under one umbrella. So yes.
That's what's up. Toy Blackmon, thank you. Y'all go out there and y'all support. Of course, you'll see all the stuff flash up on the screen. Keep supporting the platform, Bank That Radio Show, across all social media. And this has been a very, very, very lovely. I've enjoyed this. interview. So y'all make sure y'all keep on tuning in.